Order. The member for Wright has the call.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question without notice is to the Prime Minister. I refer the Prime Minister to this power bill from Bunny Bites Foods in my electorate that clearly shows that the off-peak rate has increased by over 68%. As a result of the carbon tax, they'll be paying an extra $32,000 a year. If Bunny Bites Foods couldn't trust the Prime Minister to keep her promise that there'd be no carbon tax under a government I lead, why should they believe anything that the Prime Minister says in the future?
The Leader of the House.
I'd ask that the— Well, if you want information, surely there's no objection to tabling the document. I ask that the member table the document.
The Leader of the House resume his seat. The Manager of Opposition Business will resume his seat. The Prime Minister has the call.
I have a—
The process. The Leader of the House resume his seat. The issue is actually at the discretion of the member to seek leave. The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and I thank the member for his question. And the member would be aware that I've taken a large number of questions like this about the impact of carbon pricing on small business. And when the opposition has chosen to table the documents, and we have analysed those documents and on occasion spoken to the small businesses in question, what we found is that the facts are very, very different to what the opposition comes in here and says as part of its reckless fear campaign. We find that they are two very different things because they've always been two very different things, the truth versus the opposition's reckless fear campaign. So if the member at any point chooses to table the documents, we will look at them. But I would make the following point to the member, as I've made in this House before. Small businesses are not directly paying the carbon price. That is paid by Australia's biggest polluters. Yes, there are costs that do flow through to small businesses. We've said that that would occur, and one of the reasons that we assisted households through tax cuts, through increased family payments, through increased pensions, is we recognised that a number of businesses would pass those costs through. But let's be clear about the dimension. 0.7%, less than 1% of CPI, of cost of living. Let's be clear about the dimension for families, an average of $10.10 assistance a week, which is more than the impact that families would expect to see. Now, on the question of small businesses, in terms of some facts that the member might want to be aware of, the Big Switch Projects report has been released, and this actually went to the costs of 66 businesses, went to them and looked at their bills and tried to assess what has happened with carbon pricing. The Big Switch, of course, is a project being led to try and get people a cheaper electricity deal, not because of the impact of carbon pricing, but because of the impacts we have seen around the country of 50, 60, 70% increases, the increases that the opposition from time to time denies exist, the 60, 70% increases that we've seen in parts of the country. And what this project found from those 66 businesses is the average was the equivalent of 2 cents per kilowatt hour. The average rise was 11%. So I would say to the member, once again, don't be misled by the Leader of the Opposition into following his political tactics of reckless negativity. Instead, try and deal with those people in your electorate on the basis of the facts and what is actually happening. And if the member wants to table the document, then we will look at it and ascertain the facts.
The member for Wright is seeking to table the document.
Yes, please, Madam Speaker. And on indulgence, with reference to the bill, the carbon tax charge as a line item— The
member for Wright will resume his seat. The member for Wright will resume. The member for Wright will resume his seat. The Leader of the House is leave granted to the member. I asked the member for Wright if he was seeking to table a document. He said that the member for Wright is seeking to table a document. The Leader of the House is leave granted.
He's a good bloke, yes.
Leave is granted. Just before I call the member. Order! Order! Just before I call the member for Fremantle, the member for Sturt will resume his seat. The member for Sturt will resume his seat. I inform the House that we have present in the gallery this afternoon members of the 9th delegation from New Zealand who are visiting under the auspices of the Australian Political Exchange Council. Many of this chamber have had the opportunity to visit other places under this scheme. It's a wonderfully well-run program. We hope you enjoy your time in Australia. On behalf of the House, I extend a very warm welcome to the members today. The Manager of Opposition Business on a point of order,
Madam
which we have
Speaker.
no question before us. Is this a question about the operation of the House?
No, Madam Speaker. It's a question to you. It's a point of order to you as Speaker. The Leader of the House described the member for Wright as a bloke. I put it to you, if I described one of the members over there as a Sheila, I'd be accused of making a sexist remark. So I asked him to withdraw it.
Seat.